Welcome back, guys. We are back, and we're just a couple days away from UFC Fight Night. Cory Sandhagen versus Deveison Figuiredo, which means it's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, give you my prediction and breakdown of each fight. Starting with the first fight, going all the way up to the main event, Cory Sandhagen versus Deveison Figuiredo. I already did. If you want another person's opinion, I was on the Sparring Sessions podcast and we already broke down this card in full, but this will just be my picks. So let me get right into it, with the first fight of the night, Julliana Miller versus Ivana Petrovich. What a fight to start the card, man. I cannot wait for this one. 3-3, Julliana Miller and Ivana Petrovich 7-2. Coming off a split decision loss to Jamie Lynn Horth. These ones, this one's really setting it off strong, this fight. I cannot wait for this one. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. In all seriousness, though, minus 250 for Ivana Petrovich. Julliana Miller looks like she is fighting underwater. So I'm going to, for that reason, go with Ivana Petrovich over Julliana Miller. I don't think you can't pick you just can't pick Julliana Miller at all. She has no upside. She's shown very little upside in the UFC apart from one win over a created fighter, Brogan Walker. She doesn't exist anymore. She was put into the UFC Apex cryogenic chamber, as Lucas Tracy likes to say. Ivana Petrovich is taking this home, guys. You know what's happening. I'm not spending any more time on this one. Going to the next one, Don'Tale Mayes versus Thomas Petersen. What this is your classic unranked heavyweight blob fight. Don'Tale Mayes does have a 7-inch reach advantage. I think you could pick him. I don't think it's crazy to say that Don'Tale Mayes could win this one, but I keep saying Tomas. It's Thomas. He beat Muhammad Usman, which, I mean, that win, I don't know. That win, I feel like, is better than Don'Tale Mayes. Muhammad Usman, I don't think Don'Tale Mayes really is that good. I've never really given him credit. He's terrible on the ground. If Petersen gets a takedown here, he wins this fight. So I'm going Thomas Petersen by decision. And yeah, moving on. Gaston Bolanos versus Quang Lee. Oh man, this is actually a pretty good fight. Gaston Bolanos coming off a Cortavius Romeus decision win, very dominant. I think that might have been an underdog. Can't remember for sure, but Quang Lee is one of these guys, like he was against a Road to UFC guy, this Long Zhao, and he got knocked out pretty bad. Chris Gutierrez beat him by decision. And I don't really rate him that much. He hasn't looked good in the UFC. He's able to get controlled. I don't think he's going to be beating Gaston Bolanos on the feet. I'm going to pick Gaston Bolanos. I could see him getting a finish here as well. I'm actually going to take Gaston Bolanos by KO or submission. I could see him getting it done by either one of the two. So that's going to be the pick. Inside the distance for Gaston Bolanos. Moving on. Marina Rodriguez versus Gillian Robertson. Gillian Robertson's really good. I saw her fight in person last time she was out against it wasn't actually last time she was out. It was quite a while ago at this point. It was Polyana Viana in Canada. I saw that one. But Marina Rodriguez, even when she should win a fight, against Yasmin Lucindo or like Jessica Andrade, I remember that fight being really close, the Jessica Andrade one. None of these split decisions go her way that should go her way, so I don't think a girl like Gillian Robertson, who actually has upside here, who can take her down and control her, I don't see her faltering here. I see her getting a dominant decision victory or a submission win possibly, even though I don't think Marina Rodriguez has ever been submitted. Now that I say it, yeah, she has never been submitted. So I will say Gillian Robertson takes home a decision victory using her grappling and strong control from the top. She's going to take home a decision victory. Next fight on the card. Azamat Bekoev versus Ryan Loder. I'm kind of zooming through this card. But Azamat Bekoev versus Ryan Loder. This is not a bad fight. This is a pretty good fight. Azamat, I picked against him in his last one against Zachary Reese. I'm a big fan of Zachary Reese. I thought he was going to be able to get it done against Bekoev. But Bekoev actually showed pretty good striking, took him down, and then got really some nice ground and pound off on Zachary Reese. Ryan Loder beat Robert Valentine in his last one. He has good wrestling as well, but his striking's leaves some to be desired. His striking, and I think Bekoev, he's going to be able to match the wrestling game of him. So I think Bekoev's going to take home probably a decision victory here. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I don't really know too much about Bekoev. So I think he should get past Ryan Loder. His record looks a bit better, and Ryan Loder's striking has not. It doesn't look good. It just doesn't. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Bekoev. Moving on, Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. Yana Santos actually won her last fight out against Chelsea Chandler, but she lost 3 fights in a row before that. Carol Rosa, Holly Holm, Irene Aldana. Miesha Tate, she returned, and she actually looked pretty good against Julia Villa. But she hasn't been that active. But the thing is, Yana Santos, she isn't like a world beater or anything. This is an unranked women's MMA fight. And Miesha Tate actually has some pretty good upside here. I think she can take down Yana Santos, control her. She possibly could find a submission here over Yana Santos. When was the last time she got submitted? It's been a while. It's been a while. 2017 was the last time she got submitted. But I think Miesha Tate, her grappling's no joke, and she's a girl that's actually going to be looking for a finish here. But I'll take her by decision. I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. I think she's going to get a lot of control time off on Yana Santos. And yeah, I'll take her to win this fight. Moving on. I hope this goes as it should in my... I think this is going to be a good back and forth fight. I hope. But Jeremy Stephens versus Mason Jones is the next fight. And listen, Jeremy Stephens, he did lose his last time in MMA. But he went to boxing after that. And let me show you what he's done since his last MMA fight in PFL, where he lost to Nathan Schultz by an arm triangle choke. He went and fought Jose Aldo. He went and fought Chris Avila, where he lost. He went and fought Jimmy Rivera in bare knuckle boxing, BKFC, and he won that fight. He fought Bobby Taylor, and he also fought Eddie Alvarez in January of this year, and he beat the fuck out of Eddie Alvarez, man. All this to say, I'm not picking him. Mason Jones, man, this dude has been on a roll. He also has been in the UFC. There's your 2 UFC returnees. And Mason Jones, he's looked pretty good on Cage Warriors in his recent run. Putting a 4-fight win streak together, 3 of those by KO. And Jeremy Stephens, he's weathered, he's old. 38 years old, nearly 39 years old. And Mason Jones, he's 30. He's near that could be his prime. That could be his prime. He's 15-2 compared to 29 and 21. And he's got a 3-inch reach advantage. I'm going Mason Jones by knockout over Jeremy Stephens. I think the first round might be a good back and forth one before Mason Jones puts him out in the first round by KO. That's going to be the pick. Mason Jones by knockout in the first round. Moving on, Cameron Smotherman versus Serhey Sidey. I nearly went with Serhey Sidey. I was close. I think he's good. I do think he's good. He lost a really close fight to Ramon Tavares, which all of the media members had it to Ramon Tavares, and he won a fight to Garrett Armfield, where all the media members had it to Armfield. Cameron Smotherman, he just beat Jake Hadley in his last fight. That was a short notice replacement, or I think he was supposed to. Cameron Smotherman was supposed to fight someone, and Jake Hadley stepped up, I think, or I might have it backwards. Oh, yeah, okay, no, now I'm wrong. Jake Hydestan was supposed to fight Brady Hydestan. Jake Hadley was supposed to fight Brady Hydestan, and then Cameron Smotherman stepped in for Hydestan on a week's notice, or less than a week's notice, and beat Jake Hadley very convincingly. Serhey Sidey, I don't think he stands a chance here. Jake Hadley had a bit more upside to Serhey Sidey, I think, and he couldn't even do it on a full training camp. Cameron Smotherman does have a 3-inch reach disadvantage here. So, Sidey's dynamic. He is dynamic, but he has bad fight IQ. And I think Cameron Smotherman is going to be able to take home a decision victory. And that's going to be the pick. I can't go with Sidey just because he's repping a Canadian flag. Going with Smotherman by decision. Moving on. Montel Jackson, Daniel Marcos. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is a tough one for sure. I might switch my pick. I was picking Montel Jackson, I can't lie. I might switch my pick here. Montel Jackson has been on a run. He's looked unstoppable as of recently. You know, he knocked out Damon Blackshear pretty badly. Ronnie Yaya, that's not a good win. I don't rate a Ronnie Yaya win at all. Like, real ones know this guy's not that good. He's been knocked out a lot, and I don't think he's that good. I've never really rated Ronnie Yaya too highly. I'm like, Brett Johns and Ricky Simone, they're not terrible losses. But Daniel Marcos is 17-0, and like, I get he's at a 6 reach disadvantage here, and if you really have watched the recent fights, Adrian Yanez was a very close fight. John Castaneda was kind of close, but he's a very dynamic striker. He's a great leg kicker. And I don't think we can, I just hate denying a dude that's 17-0, and he's a plus 200 underdog. Man, I'm going with Daniel Marcos. I was picking Montel Jackson. If you watch the Sparring Sessions podcast, I picked Montel Jackson on the Sparring Sessions podcast. So I'm going to have to officially change my pick to Daniel Marcos. A plus 170 underdog, man. I've had more time to think about it. He's winning this. Montel Jackson, he's a dynamic striker. He is good. But a minus 200, I just can't take that against a guy that's 17-0. Yeah, Daniel Marcos by decision. That's the cheat code. Daniel Marcos by decision is the cheat code. So that's going to be the pick. Moving on. Santiago Ponzinibiio versus Daniel Rodriguez. Santiago Ponzinibiio beat Carlston Harris in his last fight by knockout. I picked Carlston Harris. I picked against Santiago Ponzinibiio. I don't think I've ever picked Santiago Ponzinibiio to win a fight. I can't say. I can't say I remember ever picking him to win a fight. I'm trying to see any of these that I might have. Maybe. No, I don't think I would have, honestly. I don't think I would have. Daniel Rodriguez, though, I think he looked really good in that Alex Morono fight. He kind of had a chip on his shoulder because Kelvin Gastelum fucked him around with a weight miss, and Ian Machado Gary fucked him around with a weight miss after giving him food at his hotel room and shit. So I think he had a chip on his shoulder. He came out and he displayed some really good boxing, I think. And Santiago Ponzinibbio, man, like he has very strong striking. He knocked out Carlston Harris when I didn't expect it. I don't know, man. I'm going Daniel Rodriguez. I'm not picking Santiago Ponzinibbio. I just can't do it in my right mind, man. I'm gonna have to say Daniel Rodriguez is gonna be able to win a decision here over Santiago Ponzinibbio, rather than Santiago Ponzinibbio catching Daniel Rodriguez and putting him out. I don't know. 2 fights in a row? Could Santiago Ponzinibbio get a KO win 2 fights in a row? I don't see it happening. I don't. I'm going to go with Daniel Rodriguez. And we're going to move on to the co-main event. Reiner de Ridder versus Bone Nickal. It is tempting. I won't lie. Reiner de Ridder's a plus 225 against Bone Nickal. And it is tempting. But something swayed me from him. And it was this fight in one championship before he came to the UFC against Anatoly Malikin. He got some takedowns denied. He gassed out. And he ended up on his knees looking pretty bad. And listen, do we think Reiner de Ridder's going to be taking down Bo Nickal and controlling him and get a submission win on Bo Nickal? I don't really see that. Bo Nickal is good. Wrestler. He's a very accoladed collegiate wrestler, you know. I don't see Reiner de Ridder taking him down. And listen, have you seen Reiner de Ridder striking? This isn't to say Bo Nickal's striking is good or anything. I think their striking's pretty comparable. Like this is like an old Bo Nickal. Oh no, I can't even. No. This is a young Bo Nickal versus Reiner de Ritter. I can't. I was about to compare Reiner de Ritter to Bo Nickal's like wrestling. I can't. They're not comparable. I think Bo Nickal's wrestling is better than Reiner de Ritter. So I don't see how Reiner de Ritter wins this fight. Apart from like maybe Bo Nickal, his striking's pretty terrible too. Like all he does is an overhand. Bo Nickal, all he does is an overhand. So like, Bo Nickal's gonna win this fight by decision though. There's no way that Reiner de Ritter. I don't know though. A plus 225 is definitely enticing. Definitely enticing. He's fought way better people than Bo Nickal. Paul Craig was giving him issues. Oh man. But listen, you go and watch that Gerald Meerschaert fight, and he had to fight till like his lungs were collapsing to finish off Gerald Meerschaert in that fight. He was toast at the end of that one. And like Kevin Holland, you guys know how I feel about Kevin Holland. You guys know how I feel about Kevin Holland. So no, I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm not going to change my pick. I'm going to stay with what I said on the Sparring Sessions podcast. I'm going to stay with my opinion, man. Bo Nickal's winning this fight. Reiner de Ritter's going to gas out, and Bo Nickal's going to find a way to win a decision. You think they're letting their star boy lose anytime soon? No. This is the name on his record that kind of catapults him up the rankings a little bit. We're going with Bo Nickal by decision over Reiner de Ritter. Moving on to the main event of the evening. Cory Sandhagen versus Deveison Figuiredo. This is actually a pretty good fight. Don't let the odds fool you. I think Figuiredo could win rounds. Sandhagen, I mean, there's an idea of Sandhagen. I say this all the time, but I mean, it's never been more true than when I say it for Cory Sandhagen. There's an idea of Cory Sandhagen where he's like this like elusive ninja striker on the feet, where he's like keeping you at range, and then when you're so frustrated and you rush in, boom, flying knee, and you're unconscious. You know, that's the idea of Cory Sandhagen, but what does he really do? Like he's a good striker. I'm not dissing Cory Sandhagen or anything, but I think he definitely gets overrated quite a bit when it comes to the 135-pound division. I don't think he is as good as a lot of people say. I will say that. I mean, he's top five for sure. Championship material. I wouldn't go that far. Deveison Figuiredo could win this one. I think a minus 450 is a little disrespectful. But Cory Sandhagen's takedown defense is pretty good. And I think his striking is probably better than Deveison Figuiredo's in 2025. I think Figuiredo has to land a power strike or something. Or like I think Cory Sandhagen's going to be able to out-volume Deveison Figuiredo. And that's probably all it's going to take. Out-voluming him and denying his takedowns. And Deveison Figuiredo, he's not... I don't know where I'm going here, but like Petr Yan was able to like this is the same game plan as Petr Yan, but to a little bit less of an extent on the striking. I think Petr Yan is his striking's a little more crisp than Cory Sandhagen, but even in that fight he gave up a round to Deveison Figuiredo. I think I think the odds are a little disrespectful. I'm going on a tangent here just to say Cory Sandhagen's going to win this fight. He's going to outstrike Deveison Figuiredo probably. And the only saving grace for Deveison Figuiredo is knocking out Cory Sandhagen maybe, or hitting him with a power strike and getting some ground and pound off. Or if he gets a takedown off, he could get some control time off on Cory Sandhagen. I think his muscle mass might be a bit more, like real strength than Cory Sandhagen's is. I keep going back and forth, but no. Cory Sandhagen's going to win this fight. He's going to outstrike Deveison Figuiredo and win a 49-46 decision. 50-45 maybe. Probably not. 49-46, 48-47 potential. Cory Sandhagen's winning this fight by decision. And that's going to be the official pick. Yeah. those are the fights on. That's every fight on the card. I know I kind of rushed through this one a little bit, but listen, I've already done a full fucking hour podcast. If you want a full breakdown, go and watch the Sparring Sessions podcast with Dax and me on the Sparring Sessions channel. Go check that out. But yeah, that'll do it for my picks and breakdown of this card, and we'll be back here for more soon. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one.